Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the kitchen. Listen, what if I told you that you could make delicious homemade macaroni and cheese in your microwave? No box, no mix, no powdered cheese stuff. Well, I can't wait to show you how this all comes together. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the kitchen. I'm Noreen, and this is my kitchen. Today, we're going to continue on with our microwave magic series. Last time, we showed you how to make a poached egg. Today, we're going to do something you might not have thought about. I'm going to show you how to make homemade macaroni and cheese in your microwave without a box, without a cheese packet, and it's very simple. And most likely, you have all of these ingredients on hand already. The only caveat I will say is that you should use a container or a bowl that is bigger than you think. What I have here is a 2.5 liter French white Corningware casserole dish, but that's about 2.64 quarts. So this is the perfect size. So I'm going to go over all the ingredients and then we're going to kind of move on to making this. We're going to start off with 2 cups of plain elbow macaroni, and then we're going to need 2.5 cups of water. This is just cold water. We're going to add about a half teaspoon of salt into that, and then we're going to put that in the microwave in just a second, and I'll explain how we're going to do that. To make the creamy, delicious cheese sauce, we're going to need a half a cup of milk. I have a 1/4 cup of milk and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream here to give delicious creaminess to our recipe, and 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, along with a tablespoon of butter and a 1/4 cup of sour cream. We're going to season this up with a half teaspoon of all these spices. So I have ground mustard, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. You can season yours however you like. If you don't want to add the spiciness, then you don't have to, but it's always my opinion that a good macaroni and cheese has a little bit of hint of spice in the back. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the salt and the water together here in the bowl. I'm just going to give that a bit of a zhuzh. Then we're going to take this over to the microwave and I'll show you what happens next. Okay, we're over at the microwave, and what we're going to do now is we are going to cook the macaroni and the water for about 2-minute bursts, up to the amount of time it takes for your macaroni to be the tenderness that you prefer. Now, I'm saying start with about 4 minutes and then go from there if you are making this amount. If you cut the recipe in half, then you're going to want to do it for lesser time. Also, depending on the wattage of your microwave, mine is 1100 watts, so I know that it has a lot of power. I'm going to cook this on full power. I'm going to cover it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and cook it until it's completely tender and the way that I prefer to have it. All right, this was in the microwave cooking a total of 8 minutes. Now, like I said, it might take less, it might take more. But if your macaroni or your pasta, if you've had it in your pantry for a little while, it might be a little drier than usual. So I would recommend that you monitor the water level as well as the doneness of the macaroni. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make the sauce. Okay, so I have sour cream. First, I'm going to put this butter in here. And if the macaroni looks a little discolored, it's because some of them are cooked a little bit more than others, but I've tested them and they're al dente and they're like the perfect texture for us. So if you want to cook your macaroni a little bit longer, then you go right ahead and do that. All right, I have the sour cream and I'm going to add the milk to the sour cream. This is the milk and the heavy cream that I have. And I'm going to add the seasonings in there. And I'm just going to mix these up. Okay, the one thing I didn't mention at the beginning that as an afterthought, I'm going to add a couple dashes of Worcestershire to this because I always add Worcestershire to my macaroni and cheese when I make it, like when I make cheese sauce or when I make it on top of the stove or when I make it for baked macaroni. So that's what we are going to do today. I'm going to add my cheese right into the bowl, and we're going to add all of our wet ingredients right on in there. And then we're just going to give this a good old-fashioned stir. We're going to be putting this back in the microwave. It's already starting to melt together, but what we want is we want everything to be cohesive. So now that I've got this pretty well blended, I'm going to go pop this back in the microwave for about 2 minutes, I think. And I'm not going to put a top on it. And when we come back, I'll show you what this looks like and we'll serve some up. Well, we pulled this out of the microwave. I put it in there for 2 minutes and gave it a good stir, and look at how beautiful and creamy that sauce is. And mind you, remember, we did not use a box. We did not use a packet of powdered cheese. We used all fresh, whole ingredients to make our macaroni and cheese today in the microwave, which might be unbelievable, but we did it. So now I'm going to serve up a bowl, and we're going to have Rick give it a taste.
I have to.
You have to. Okay, we've served this up. I'm going to get a spoon so I can have Rick try this. It smells incredible. Look at how beautiful and creamy that is. I'm just saying. This is enough. You know, look, you want to make a side dish for your family, but you don't feel like, you know, maybe you have a different situation. I don't know, but you can make this in a dorm room. I'm telling you, in a microwave, it's going to be great. And I'm going to have Rick taste this. Look at how beautiful that is. Tender noodles, creamy cheese sauce, no thickeners, no roux, no nothing. You don't even have to bother, because when you do it like this, it all comes together just like it should. So here you go. What do you think?
Perfect.
It's delicious, right?
Yeah.
This is so good. You guys, you're going to love it. So that's how you make delicious homemade macaroni and cheese in your microwave. And I honestly, it rivals the stuff I make on top of the stove to put in the oven. So the other thing too is, if you have an air fryer that your container will fit in, you can pop this in the air fryer for a couple of minutes and get a crispy brown topping on it. Add a little more cheese on top if you want. It's going to be delicious, and it'll be just like home baked mac and cheese. So be sure and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and be sure you hit the bell notification button. If you wouldn't mind hyping the video, that would be lovely as well. And give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that this is information other people might want to look at. So I hope you give this a try sometime soon, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.